Quickly, as far as Arrowhead goes, the next order of business is here. I got an email from Andy this morning, speaking to him. Can you please pass along to the club, the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority will be installing a sewer service line as part of the Marquee Hills Area Sewer Extension Project. They are requiring an easement through Arrowhead Park. The easement will enter through the asphalt road entrance of the park, turn right along the concrete sidewalk towards the tennis court, turns and is directed behind the tennis court towards holes 13 and 14. The sewer extension project is expected to begin in August of this year and will take 18 months for completion. I'm not sure at this point which direction they will be starting from. Please expect holes 13 and 14 to be closed once this project begins. At this time, this is the only information I can provide, but I will keep you posted as we are made aware of any progress.
Which are 13 and 14? Is that the field holes?
13 is the island hole we play, and then 14 is the long by the ditch.
So that's what's going on. They're
So-
going to do what they do.
So that's going to cut
And
most
it
of all.
may, I don't know what exactly it is. I guess they dig underneath the dirt and they put sewer and water in and then cover it back up. So hopefully,
Same thing's happening in Hornets Nest right now.
yeah.
Hornets Nest in Charlotte is about to lose 16 and
Well, that's what they did in
17
Meadowbrook.
about 18 months.
You know what I heard in Meadowbrook?
They just did that a couple years
Maybe.
ago.
At the Grayville tournament?
Yep. Oh yeah, that's
They
exactly
cut
right.
that, they cut that
But they
whole
didn't
sewer
do
line
it
through
18 months. They did it like 3 months, which was awesome.
Well, they lost all those woods and made all those holes.
A little bit easier.
The first time I played, I don't know, but it's.
The first time they did it at Hornet's Nest, they actually adjusted the baskets and moved the holes around
They're
so
gonna
that
lose
to go
16,
around
17
it.
for a
And-
while. For a
yeah.
while anyway.
Okay. We're going to skip the Zay report because we're going to have the Azalea meeting after this. And just looking at new business, there's a lot of people here that brought these things up and for one reason or another aren't here again tonight. But one person is David Massey, and obviously on Facebook he's kicked up quite a stir and got a lot of people really interested in some good stuff. David, give us just a quick rundown of what's going on and where you're at for the record, and then we'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, for the record, I preliminarily came up with the idea of the single unbusiest time of the year for the campus is between summer session 1 and summer session 2. It's about the last week in June, right? So there'll be almost no one on campus, including faculty. I had an idea to lay out a temporary course that we as a club could probably play maybe this year, and then if it went well, we could do it as an event next year. I have come up with 18 holes, but I've also come up with, and with Troy's help, because he walked the course with me, about 9 alternate holes in case they don't allow us to use this piece or that piece. The way I have it laid out right now, it's a par 61. It's 5,519 feet. There's a par 5 on each 9. There's 3 par 4s and the rest par 3s. And the 3s range everything from 300 feet to 126 feet. But the 126 feet are not going to be easy. We talked about,
They are tucked in hard.
yeah, there's one basket that's a foot away from a pond.
Perfect. That's what you do.
It's a very small pond. It's a triangle and it's only knee deep. But
Water is 3 foot of duck shit.
That's a goose. Not
but the now I don't know who was supposed to be or is supposed to be talking to the quote unquote people in charge at UNCW for talking about letting us do this. Thought it was
Rob actually sent an email today to someone working on it. He went around a little course. Is that the same one you posted online?
Yeah, very similar.
There were a couple concerns. One of them was a lot of walking in between holes.
Yes.
At the end
that
of the
was one of the
summer.
things- That was one of the things I wanted to bring up because
Yeah.
that is one new development I do have.
Yeah.
I used to work for admissions. Admissions, they don't own them, of course the university owns them, but admissions are the people who control the the carts.
Mhm.
And what the carts are, they're basically extended golf carts that can hold 10 people. What they use them for is for high school seniors and for community college transfers to take tours of the campus.
Yeah.
And because of the people that I know in admissions, because I used to work there, they said to me personally that if the university gave us the go-ahead to do this, that they would then in turn allow us to use those carts in about the 5 or 6 places where it is a long walk.
Yeah.
And they have 10 carts, so, I don't see how that's a huge ordeal if we have access to the carts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the way I laid it out, because it's gonna be in June,
Yeah.
I have a refreshment station.
Yeah. That's
And
what,
you have to pass it twice,
yeah.
so.
That's the one thing. The only other thing is, I can guarantee you that we're not throwing on the baseball field.
Yes, and Troy said
That's
the
the only
same,
other thing.
Troy said the same thing
Yeah,
too, that was one
not
of
gonna
those
let us
fantasy
on that
ones.
baseball field, that ain't happening.
I got just a couple quick logistical questions. Parking, Tournament Central, are those sort of in your little plan there? Where we-
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Oh, he's got that worked out real well.
Matter of fact, visitor parking is about, what would you say,
It's probably.
200-foot walk from hole one?
If that.
Yeah, the official visitor parking for UNCW is about
And that is
200
a
feet.
huge lot. Huge.
About 200 feet from hole one, and it's about 30 feet from the end of 18.
Nice.
And there is a nice tree-covered canopy where we can set up a temporary tent. In fact, we could borrow the one that UNCW uses all the time for commencements.
Well, the canopy that oak has got, I don't even think you need a tent.
Well, either way, they have one that's
Yeah.
huge that they have put in that spot between the end of where we saw 18
Yeah.
and that visitor lot, and that's where we would have the reception and the payout and all that
Is
jazz.
that one that they have, or is that one they get from party suppliers, the tent?
I think the one that they have that they put out on Hogger Lawn is theirs,
Okay.
because
I think it's party suppliers. I'm pretty sure the big white one with the windows.
no, they have another
Oh,
white one
okay.
that doesn't have the windows, it's
Gotcha.
just the top.
They might have it, okay. That'd
And,
be awesome.
but yeah, so they said that if whoever is in contact with, whoever we need to be in contact with, and they
Because
give
Rob's
us
been looking, if you wanna get up with Rob, I can get you his contact info, 'cause I know he's been.
I actually already told Dave,
Mhm.
and, because I talked to Rob about it, and I already told Dave to talk to Rob, and I got the numbers, the numbers.
'Cause I don't know the campus that well, I rode around with him, he can get one of the little cars, I went up there one afternoon and we rode around.
Yeah.
And he knows most of the grounds pretty well, and he knows where they probably won't let us throw at. Just
Yeah.
trying to minimize damage and that kind of thing, so.
And I thought about that very, very carefully.
Yeah,
Like, we're not throwing at any buildings. We're not throwing, at any major sidewalk crossings. We're not throwing, at places where we could hit people or property. Now, some of the things I had proposed were a little bit outlandish, just because they'd be interesting holes.
right,
You know, throw from the concourse on the first base side of Brooks Field to the outfield
yeah.
is a great downhill 380-foot shot. But, you know, they're not gonna let us use the field. That doesn't mean they won't let us use the big berm on the backside of the field, because that's the longest hole in the course. And Troy and I talked about that, 'cause the field out there, you can make that a par 5 at
Oh, yeah.
650, or you can make that a par 5 at 800.
I think we get to 1,000
Yeah,
feet.
from the berm out to the
Wide
golf
open.
area,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wide
that
open.
wouldn't be a
Wide
problem.
open.
And-
And.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right
it's
after-
a bomber hole.
Right after the tee, you have to throw over a fence, which, I mean, the fence is at your feet level because you're on the berm, but it's a 10-foot fence. The berm is about 100, yards long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
so
after
you
yard.
could have an AM tee at the front of it and a pro tee at the back of it. And right over the crest of the hill is the putting green that the golf team uses. And that
That's
putting
right,
green
golf is right-
would be
right there.
OB, just like it was for the Oak Island Open.
Yeah, but see, that's where you wanna land whenever you throw a great big old panty roller, you wanna land on that green.
Yeah.
Take off.
So anyway, that was one of the,
That's right.
that was one of the holes that was super long, that we could really, really make super long
Yeah.
if we wanted to, for like a pro-am thing. obviously looking to next year, you know, if we made a
I
really
love the
down.
pro-am tie-in, I think this is a perfect way.
Cause I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, and so you sound like you're on top of it, you're thinking ahead,
and trust me, there's more than enough property over there where if they don't allow, if they tell me there's 8 holes I can't use, I got 8
You'll
more.
find, there's plenty of property.
I got 8 more already.
I really love that program aspect of it. To me, if we can bring in a local
Well, I was trying to tell
DJ, a
him
local
who to contact.
newspaper person like Casey or whatever, you know, if we can bring these local celebrities in, and the course is gonna be more wide open, it's not gonna be like Castle Haynes, so there's gonna be room for these guys to throw,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean,
there's a couple of holes that are gonna be tight.
okay.
That I-
That's hard, that's good.
The
That's-
shorter holes are the tighter holes.
That's keeping them in the disc golf, you know, that's nothing wrong with it.
I love
One thing
that.
I'm gonna say, Dave, is when you're designing this course and when you're just laying it out and you're thinking about it, I know you've already got it laid out, but go back out there. I'll tell you what, excuse me, sorry. I'll tell you what Harold Duvall told me, imagine a bad shot, and then imagine a shot twice as bad as that. You know, you get an idea, you're like, oh man, there's no way somebody will get over there, and sure enough, you put an ammo in there, and it's just like,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying, but
Same way, 12 Castle, you would never think anybody would ever throw over the second track.
it's been done.
It's been done
And it's amazing,
several
and then you
times.
sit there and scratch your head, and how did he
Yeah,
get
how
through
in
all
the world did that happen?
You know, so you're on the right course, but what I'm saying is just when you
Yeah.
design it, when you go back out there for your
A
final.
lot of them, I had buildings to our backs.
Yeah, that's smart.
So, a lot of them.
180 degrees is hard to hit. 95 is not that hard to hit, but
But
180
behind you,
Yeah,
it's hard to
I
do.
agree.
Hey, I've done it. I've done it.
I was hole 9, Arrowhead, drive, -4 feet.
Yeah.
So
I would
you
like to
mad
know,
out,
I would
you
like to
mad.
know what B is, right? Can we discuss B?
What's, let's see. Oh, you're right, I can't believe that I skipped, I missed that somehow. Yes, that's important. David, are you done saying? we're
Yes.
talking? Okay, thank you very much.
Make this happen, Dave.
You keep
Yeah, thank
on,
you, David.
driving
Make this
this.
happen.
Great job, bro. Great job.
I didn't wanna
So
walk
if
in that
UNC
heat. golf
UNCW
cart
lets us do
solid.
it,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it,
And
and
we
it's
got,
gonna be
and me
pretty.
and
They're
Troy
gonna
met
let us
some
do it in
students, Dave.
some
If we
form,
can
it's
get some
just
students
where they're gonna
involved,
let us do it.
we've got them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that's
Oh, we
that's the
yeah.
whole thought
And
on
real
this
quick,
is that the
Before we go to
students,
B,
Mhm.
if
Well,
it's
I
on
told
their
him
campus,
before, I said,
that's gonna
let's
bring
get a
in.
fraternity and let's get a sorority tied into this.
That's what the one guy said, if you got a
They've been
student
going out there for the last
organization and
6
a
years.
charity.
And what happens is they've tried to get a 9-holer out past Fine, Wagner, and where the suites are.
Yeah.
What happens is the kid gets into it his sophomore, junior year. He organizes. He becomes a senior. He graduates, and there's nobody coming
Yep.
up underneath him. So
Nobody
it's-
takes the
But
reins.
there's
Yeah.
there have been
In touch
just
with the
out
outdoor,
there.
the people who are in touch with the outdoors, there's an outdoor thing out there that my buddy started, Brock Snyder.
There
back
you
in
go.
the
That's a good
80s.
contact.
Yeah, I
But
might
it's
be
just,
contacting
it's,
to see
but there's
what's up.
students out there that we can get, and
Oh,
I know
God,
2
yeah.
of them right now, so.
Yeah, I can go to SAE and, good lord, that frat will jump all over
So
this.
that's why I was just saying,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think we can.
That's what I'm saying, and then, that was my whole idea behind even putting a temp course on the campus.
Hey.
So, A, the pros could see the beauty of the campus, because it is a beautiful campus.
Yep.
B, the students whose campus it is
Yeah.
could enjoy it in a whole new way,
Like, holy shit.
when they don't have class.
Don't they still have a mountain bike course back behind that school there?
Sort of.
You know, we have a club member that's a ground supervisor.
That's who we're talking about.
Yes.
Rob Keener. That's who they're talking about, putting in touch with. Okay, so tournament player conduct?
Yes.
Yeah, tournament player conduct, it came to my attention that there at our Azalea, amateur tournament, there were some club members who may have acted less than appropriate. I don't think it's necessary to go into the details. I think everyone has been on a card with somebody who was having a bad round and was made to feel uncomfortable by actions or things said. So, I'm aware of what happened and who it was, and I have yet to speak to them yet. We can wait till after our Azalea and handle that. But as a reminder, I guess, it's not, I don't think going to be as much of a problem with our pros. But in a sense, I feel like we've got a lot of new guys in the club now that may not be aware of the overall decorum of the game under this type of tournament circumstance.
Courtesy.
And, yeah, courtesy. So, with hindsight being 20/20, certainly next year, it should be something that should be brought up. Let's remember to act professional and represent the club appropriately.
It's not even that, and it will be addressed at the pro, for sure.
Okay, good.
I thought we were talking about a different situation.
What
I heard-
exactly happened?
Well, there's multiple, apparently.
Well,
There have been.
before we, I don't really wanna go into sort of,
We don't have to name names.
No, we don't have to name names, I just wanna know what happened.
Throwing extra discs after bad shots, throwing whole bags after bad
Oh,
shots.
that's not what
That's
we're
a
talking about.
disqualification.
That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
Well, this is just guys that, what he's talking about is just guys that don't know the rules in tournament play.
And this happened during the Azalea Amateur?
Yes.
I don't even know about that.
I didn't know
I was
about
about to
that.
bring up one thing. Boz brought up something I didn't think we were gonna talk about.
I was talking
And now
about,
we've got a.
I know what Boz knows. I don't know, nobody said anything to me.
What I was gonna bring
Should
up-
have.
What I was gonna bring up is I definitely know that an experienced amateur was walking off the hole without putting out, was absolutely inebriated beyond doubt.
I know who that was.
And that's, that person is signed up for the Open, and that will not fly in my tournament for sure. Not that you didn't do the right thing, I'm just saying that you had no
Yeah.
idea, and that will be addressed in the
Yeah.
players'
that's
meeting
fine,
for sure.
That's fine.
But now I've heard, so
Yeah.
yeah, that,
So,
well, no, anyway, back to Boz.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
But anyway, that's the gist of it, and, you know, we learn from our mistakes, or we learn
Absolutely.
from whatever, and then we move forward, so I think that's pretty much gonna be the end of it, and if it happens, then we'll handle it. Yes, Alan?
We're working on, me and Dave's kind of been working on bridging the gap on some of that, issue that Dave was bringing up. Cause we had some guys that, were a little upset about it, a little offended by the actions of an individual, and they actually were put off to a point where they didn't even wanna come, and participate in things going on here,
Was this at doubles?
huh?
The doubles?
They did not want to come be involved with that because of a certain individual they thought would be there.
Oh, so this isn't the Azalea Amateur, this is in doubles?
No,
No,
what
no, no,
happened,
you're
what
talking
happened,
That was at the.
Was at the.
what happened was at the Azalea, and
Oh,
they,
see, I don't know.
they have actually voiced that if they had to encounter the individual
Mhm.
in another situation,
They
that,
didn't want to be, I don't blame them, I
Yeah.
don't blame them on that.
but we've been talking, and I was actually doing a little texting back and forth earlier with them, assuring them that if they would come down and play the doubles that I'm running,
Yep.
that they would have no problem with any of that, and that they're real relieved by that, and they
That's
wanna
great.
come to.
And we have made a concerted effort to go down there and play their doubles.
Oh, cool.
To show, hey, guys, look, we're sorry you had a bad experience. We all know.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to fill me in.
I have no idea.
Well,
what we're talking
that's
about.
what I mean, I'm the sergeant at arms of this club. Somebody should have came to me and told me this, and
Well,
I
I was
could have taken care of the situation.
I was not at the
And
event.
done it in a very,
And
Nice
and I
way.
didn't find out about it until after the tournament was over.
Sometimes it happens like that.
well, I mean, that's my title, that's what I
Well,
do.
but you're the sergeant of arms is at the meeting.
Yeah,
You're-
it's all right.
Sergeant of arms is merely keeping the meeting in.
Well, I'm
intact,
taking
that's it.
Goodness's place as Castle Hayne Police
Well,
too.
here we go.
so.
But
Somebody
what I
should have said
would like to
something
say
to
to
Drew.
you and Dave, and what I would love you guys to pass on to the people that did have an issue with that is in tournament play, courtesy and conduct is a group situation.
Yeah.
And if anybody were to ever pull something like that in my group, I will most definitely remind them of the rules.
Mhm.
And the rules are on your side. Extra shots, that's an automatic 2-stroke penalty.
Yeah.
Throwing a bag, temper tantrums, raising your voice, distracting the group, that is a courtesy violation. The first time it happens, it's a warning. You
Yep.
say, look, that is a courtesy violation. Do not do that again. If you do that again, it's a 1-stroke penalty per time. After the round, you let the tournament director know. The tournament director will address that person, tell them to knock it off. If it continues to happen, you'll be disqualified.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it sucks to be put in that position, but nobody should ever be upset with you about enforcing the rules. And that guy, if he's making you guys uncomfortable, he's gonna make everybody that he plays with uncomfortable. And that's nobody that we want in our events, honestly, in our club. You know, now I'm not saying we're gonna kick them out or anything, I don't even know who we're talking about. but it does pain me
Yeah.
to know about people that are childish.
The reason why this was brought up in the first place is because we're obviously can't help what every single AM does. Because not every single AM is in our club.
That's exactly right.
But the biggest and most grating issue I had with this whole thing, especially after talking, was this was a member of our club.
Yeah.
That can't happen. We can't have that, period.
That person definitely needs to be.
It just needs to be brought
Yeah.
out to who it was, and then we need to address it.
Absolutely.
It can't be, I understand trying to protect somebody's reputation, but obviously
Hey,
they
if
need
it
to know
happened,
that
I mean, it
Look,
happened.
no
I
one
mean,
needs to be publicly flogged about it.
Right.
I will handle it
I agree.
behind the scenes. I do not want to go into an area of rumor and gossip. I
Right.
think that would be unfair, and I'll be honest with you. In my early days, I definitely had some episodes where I was wrong and
Big
grew,
days.
but I grew from it. I learned that you can't make people feel uncomfortable and throw a temper tantrum.
I'm gonna agree with Boz on that one.
These people, yeah, the people that lost control, they can improve and learn to control that. And
They can
yeah.
grow from that.
they can grow from that, and that's what it'll be, is a growing experience.
Boz saw my most epic meltdown, that's for sure.
I
don't know if
did.
you remember it or not.
Wait a minute, Dave, you melted down?
Absolutely.
No.
You'll never see me melt down in the tournament.
No.
But I melted down in that tournament, 2007. The torrential downpour.
Yeah.
My second shot on hole 8, I threw a perfect drive. Rudy was there. My second shot on hole 8 was turned over slightly, but in the fairway, right, Rudy? It was in the fairway.
That's right.
It was that deep of water.
Yeah.
I couldn't find my disc.
We
I had to
looked.
take. We looked.
There were
I was
actually
this deep in the water like this. Like
there were
holy
actually
crap.
3 of them missing that were in the fairway.
Yeah, but in water.
Well, in
Right.
water.
And I was upset, and it was Boz's call, and Boz made the right call, but I felt, in my opinion, and I'd only been playing for 2 years, guys. I've literally been in this sport for 2 years. I felt that we shouldn't have been playing. I felt that we should have been called off the course because it was pouring. But it wasn't lightning. And I agree that with your call that you wanted to get that tournament in, we needed to play 4 rounds. At that point in time, I
Right.
so I had to play stroke and distance. I had to take a 1-stroke penalty for lost disc. I had to go all the way back to a perfect drive, throwing 4th shot. I think I took a 7 on that one. That was our last hole, and I went with Boz, and I was like, I slammed the card down. I said, "When's the next tee time?" And Boz just looked at me, was like, he just looked at me and said, "Not all the cards are in yet." I just went home and changed because I was so.
I hope that we really should think seriously when the weather gets that bad.
But it was the right call. I had a if my disc had landed on the left side, that would have been a problem. But
Just as soon as you threw your next throw, wow, it sounded the
yeah, he did. That's right. Well, and I did, and I was so upset. Like I said, Boz, if I'd have hit a hyzer, nothing. It would have been easy peasy, you know. But it was just that was so.
We all learn and grow.
We do, man. We do. And that was my. I've never been upset on a disc golf course ever since.
That's wonderful. Well, I guess, I think that covers it. I will table these new things, until someone actually shows up to talk about them. The venture crew thing, Jeff, and I did go meet with, a Boy Scout leader for this area and talk to him. We will save that for the next meeting. Are there any announcements or questions?
I can talk about that.
Saw a big water moccasin on number 4.
Oh, yeah, they are out.
Yeah, that's
They are out.
something, I talked to Bobby Henn at the Azalea Amateur Tournament, and he's putting together something similar to the match play they do at the BTI.
I threw
And so he's asking for clubs to put
way to the
together a
right
little
and
team.
went right into the water.
Who is this?
Bobby
Bobby
Smash
Smash.
from Raleigh.
When I walked up, I could
So
see the
I
disc on
think
the
it's
other
kind
side
of
of
cool.
the ditch.
Yeah,
You know,
sure
get
it
it.
is. I think it'd be a great
When I
thing.
walked
Stick is
up on it,
talking about this.
Okay.
like,
Do we have a first aid kit?
that was the
that we
only
go-
thing that
take to these
that made
things?
him not look like the
I don't think we
Walmarts.
I've got first aid kit in my truck.
Walmarts is
Maybe
mean.
we
do
ought to have an
Talking about
emergency
this.
part in the shed, you know, always there, I think.
Maybe one in each,
Well, I am.
one in each kit though.
We're talking about doing this at the farm,
Yeah,
they wanna keep it non-negotiable.
And you were the foreman,
I think you're right,
Jason
it is on the
Williams,
list,
private
of
force,
course, it just could be somebody who
Yeah,
bought one.
I-
We're talking about this exact-
I don't know,
exact
maybe
same
I
thing.
could get one or something.
I
It
went
doesn't
back
need to
and
be, it's
investigated.
just a basic
There was
kit.
Walmarts.
With antiseptic, some cleaning gauze for making.
Because he was.
Yeah, knife and cut the wound and
Just
suck
right now,
poison
top
out
of
of
the water.
it. Yeah.
Which G
Alright.
would,
All right.
Well, like I said, this is
No,
the,
not sucking
force
anything.
thing that they threw down into the ditch. I threw my foot in it.
You're gonna die.
That's it. I'd like to put a motion on the floor that we adjourn, the principal meeting.
Second.
Second?
I promise.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Alright.
Motion carried. Thank you, guys.